Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Music and Mixing. I'm DJ Michael Joseph. We've been away for a while to kind of switch the show up a little bit, so if you're used to watching this, you know what's going on. We're back tonight with an open question night, but if you don't know what's going on, we used to have this show every single Wednesday night, and basically the show would cover anything and everything that has to do with the mix DJ, and that means hands-on mixing kind of stuff. It could be software, it could be hardware, it could be physical mixing, it could be talking about music, anything like that. But that's what the show was about, and we kind of put it behind the insider area for Disc Jockey News, and I decided to bring it out once a month, maybe do the open question, but we still have the insider stuff going on. We got some cool stuff. We're redoing another video on how to edit music using Ableton, different things like that. We have a show coming up very soon that we're going to be talking about how to get bar gigs. And I'm going to give away a little bit. I don't want to call them secrets, but they're just, things that habits that I do that I feel that help you, stay in that loop of things. So if you've never really watched the show, we wait a little bit here at the beginning, let some people come into the chat, do some shout outs, stuff like that. Then we kind of get into what's going on here and then ask some questions. So I just want to see who's all in the chat right now. I see that Todd Esteep is in the chat. Todd, I haven't talked to you in so long. How are you doing? I don't know who else is there. If you are in the chat, feel free to do a shout out. Let me know your name and where you're from, and I'll do a shout out and say hey, hey, all that kind of fun stuff. See what's going on in the world. I hope everybody's doing well. It's been a very busy first half of the year for me. Things get a little crazy sometimes, and this year has definitely gotten crazy. Let's see who else is here. All right, so we're back to that. Can really cover anything you want tonight whatsoever. It doesn't have to be anything particular. It can be absolutely anything. So if you have a question or anything like that, stuff you'd like to see covered, we'll see who's tuning in tonight. I did announce it earlier in the week to the insiders area and then threw it out there today, so we may not get a big audience in the chat room tonight. But we will see, but I'll be here, and like I said, we can cover stuff. Got all kinds of cool stuff set up here. And for those of you who've never seen the show before, I do all kinds of stuff where I do let the camera so you can see the deck, stuff on the deck working. Not the left screen, not the sponsor bump, but there we go. Sorry, we can see some close-ups of some different things, and you kind of get a hands-on of what's going on, so that if you want to see something done mixing, I can definitely show that. But see who's in the chat. Like I said, if you're watching, feel free to do a shout-out and say you're so-and-so from so-and-where, and I'll be definitely doing the shout-outs for a little bit, and then we'll get into some questions here a little bit. I'm going to go to the one page and see if we can see what I get here. So you might hear a little bit of noise for a second if I don't mute that. Oh, it's muted out. All right, so we're good there. I want to see who's all in the chat. Oh, there we go. DJ King Fred, what's going on, buddy? How's it going? I don't know if both chats are... Yeah, they're both working there now. Yeah, they're both working. I was making sure they're both were working, and they are. So I just want to make sure everything pops up there. So again, we have taken the show and kind of put it behind the scenes in the Disc Jockey News Insiders area, and because I want to get into a lot more detail, and I don't want to kind of necessarily give away all my stuff from my DJ classes. Todd is one of the students that I've had in my classes. He's taken some of the classes and kind of expanded upon it, because it's more than just mixing. I teach a lot of things. If you get a new controller, I help you get to know the controller, or new software, or software questions, or anything like that. And it's just a little bit about everything. And behind the scenes, like I said, we're getting into some more stuff that wouldn't necessarily translate well out here to the what do you call it? The out into the YouTube world necessarily. But we're getting some detailed stuff, shorter stuff too, because my 2 lessons that I've done were about 30 minutes each on those. But we're going to keep doing some more stuff, just some more stuff behind the scene. So, see who's in here. I like the background scene. You mean the thing behind me, King? If that's what you mean. Be sure to give me a holler and let me know where you're from. I'll do a shout out for that too. But if that's what you mean, this is my studio, by the way. Probably sometime this year I will be building another one. Totally separate from this, I think. God willing, if it's in his plan. See who's here. Busy Bee Entertainment, what's going on? From Lewis. I'm guessing that has a Saint before it. Unless there's a place Lewis that I don't know. Oh, yeah, okay, thank you, King. Yeah, this is my little studio. This is the front half. The other half over there is where I do like all the studio work. for like editing and stuff like that. When I'm doing stuff in my studio, it's all done on the other side over there. And this is kind of like was my DJ side, and I decided to kind of like throw it into the show a little bit more to where I'm here, you know. And this is the stuff I DJ on every single week, and my hands are always on this and working it. And my actual DJ bag that I DJ with, this isn't like, you know, props and different things like that. But this is my life. I have no life outside of this. Louisiana. Ah, got it. Messed that up there. Sorry about that, Busy Bee. So, like I said, we have questions. Tonight it can be questions about anything. It doesn't necessarily even have to be, you know, it can be anything. Music, mixing, hardware, software, whatever, apps. I don't even care. You know, I've been playing around with some new apps for some different things, DJing and stuff like that, and just kind of get my eyes on some things and seeing what's going on. You know, I know the DJ world is changing. I was just talking to someone today about how much it's changing when it comes to the standalone players and the streaming music and the online services and all kinds of stuff like that. So if you even want to talk about that, we can talk about that too. Let me see what we have here. Having trouble seeing that feed from right here. Okay. Ah, see, someone else there has taken over a room of the house and turned it into, yeah, that's what you have to do. That's what I actually had before I built this room. When I bought the house, this was a tiny little like utility room in the basement. All it was block walls, and I just slowly, with the help of a couple friends, you know, built it in, soundproofed it, subfloor, sub-ceiling, the right electrical. We put the electrical on its own. What do you call it? Own thing on the electric board. I can't even think right now, but yeah, we made sure everything was set like that. Ran solid internet in here, cabled internet, that sort of stuff. So took some time, took a while. I actually just posted last Thursday, Throwback Thursday. 10 years ago, last Thursday, I was having the electrical put in here. So it's kind of neat to look back on that. So yeah, you got to make it work wherever you got to work. Anything in the house. Matt Wiley, hello, how are you? Make sure I say hello to everybody here. Matt, I'm in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, but I do my lessons via online through the software that we're using tonight, the Zoom software and different things. So it's basically you get to see the entire thing. So if you were in a class with me, basically this is what you would see. You would see, you know, the software, you would see me or this view, and you'll be able to see what I'm doing while I'm working and stuff like that. So the classes are done that way. I kind of keep it simple that way so that, you know, people don't have to travel, but yet again, they can get the basic stuff, because the basic stuff I'm teaching in my classes, it starts out with DJ 101. So DJ 101, probably nobody tuned in here will want DJ 101. DJ 101 is like, this is an XLR chord or this is an RCA chord. It's the real basics. And 102 starts with song structure and counting, so that you know where to mix in the song, because I think it's more important than how to mix, but where to mix, because a lot of people can, I can beat match, but you're not putting it in the right spots there. So a lot of that is in 102. Then 103, we talk about beat matching, and I show you both, you know, how to do it with your ear, because I think it's really important. If you get a song that's not correct, you need to be able to hear and adjust and move that way. So it's more than just the sync button. We talk about that. We talk about where to do the breakdowns in and out. And 104 is just kind of everything else with it. We talk about blending in 104, basic scratching, using, you know, a third or fourth deck to put beats or something like that. So 4's got a lot in there. See here. Oh, Matt, you're from Canonsburg. All right, cool. I grew up actually in Washington County. So we're from kind of the same area. Maybe we have to hang out sometime. Hit me up offline, private message. Maybe we'll do lunch or something. We can talk about this stuff. King Fred liked the custom skin for Virtual DJ. They're actually, I have not done a video on how to do it, because I'm afraid of showing people, because if they mess theirs up, I don't want them to. But it is pretty simple. I'm thinking about doing a video on it. I think I showed it one night, because basically all it is within your Virtual DJ files, there is a BMP. Sometimes it's BMP, sometimes it's PNG file, depending on what it is. And it's a picture file, and it looks nothing like the deck. It's just stuff randomly everywhere, and you just find where what your record would be on that thing, and you put your logo in there. Some of them are easier than others. Like the stock one is pretty simple, because it's a black record, and you just put whatever color logo you want over top of it. But this one, you actually have to make your logo negative, kind of like a stencil. So you're putting a black stencil over the color red or the color blue or whatever. So it becomes a little bit more, troubled in there. But with virtual, you can do anything you want. It's one of the reasons why I like it, because you literally can make it look like anything, do anything. I even have a Serato skin that makes it look exactly like Serato. I have other skins for video, just anything you want. If you don't like the way it looks, you just change it. That's one of the cool things I like about virtual there. So definitely hit me up with any questions. I'm glad everybody's in here. Yeah, like I said, I want to do a video on it, but it's one of those things. Hold on, my mic cord is just pulling on me there. Part of me doesn't want to do it because I don't want to share. I don't want everybody to have what I have with a custom screen, but I guess that's kind of childish in its own way. But it's not too difficult. I've had a few people, I've showed them how to do it. But again, I think part of the reasons why I've held off is because depending on what skin you're using, the process is different. And that's what I'm kind of a little bit hesitant on there. King says he uses virtual more than Serato. I test Serato all the time because it's part of my job with Disc Jockey News, and I have all of them. Like, I literally, on the other studio computer, I have everything over there. I can see it from here now in my little box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different softwares in there, DJ software. Some of them are different things for editing. So I test them all. You kind of got to find what works for you. Each person's different. So you gotta kind of find what works for you. I guess it's the way, if it's different software, because Digital DJ Tips just did a survey, and Rekordbox, believe it or not, was the #2 software, and it kind of blew me away that it became #2 in like 2 years. It's getting better. It used to be crappy. It used to be really crappy, but it's gotten like exponentially better. Like, I'm really impressed with how much work they're doing on that. Howard Dean, hello. Iowa City, Iowa. I have been there. Because I actually used to do shows. I used to tour, and I've done stuff in Sioux City, Iowa, and all over there. I did the Lifelight Festival about a zillion times. I've done a lot of stuff out there in the Midwest. I can't even think of the name of the other town I went to. It was a college. It was like south. I can't think of it. Anyways, but hello. Jimmy, how are you doing? Nice to talk to you again. He was hanging out with us on our Monday night Insiders chat. Dave Ellich, what's going on? Serato for Jimmy. Jimmy, here's the question. Jimmy's one of the guys, he does a lot of our graphics for us here. We're all talking Monday about that we're all thinking about getting the new Prime 4 by Denon. If they switch that, because right now, just like Rekordbox used to be a music management software, wasn't a DJ software. It was music management only. And that's where Denon's Engine Prime software is music management. And if they turn it over to be a DJ software like Rekordbox did, Jimmy, would you switch off of Serato if you get the Prime? Switch off of Serato to Engine Prime. That's the question, because I couldn't. So I know that if I get the Prime, I'm still staying with virtual. I love virtual. But the thing is with Engine Prime, you don't have to have the software anymore to do your scanning of your disc. It does it all in the Engine Prime 4. So I'm excited about that. Like I said, the whole scene's changing. I kind of knew a lot of the stuff was coming, but it's still neat to see the changes and different things out there. I like technology, and I love to see technology change and how it grows and different things like that. So a lot of guys kind of go against that and kind of go, oh, what do you need to DJ? How much technology you need to DJ? But it's just fun. Like I'm telling you, what I used to have to carry to DJ, now what this setup right here does everything, including video, and I can do custom stuff on the screen. I can stream music, so if I don't have a song, I can stream it if I need to. I can go get it anywhere I'm at, even if I just download it from a music service, whether it be streaming or just a regular download. So you can complain that things are easier or worse or whatever, but I like it. I like technology. So if you are just joining this is Open Question Night for Music and Mixing. Used to be a show that was every single Wednesday night, but I kind of doing some stuff on the DJ and TV Insiders area so that we can kind of do a little bit more educational stuff there. But I'm probably going to come back out and do an Open Question Night once a month, probably the last Wednesday of the month, and leave it for you guys to do anything you want there. Questions of any sort, mixing, music, whatever you want to do. A little bit ago, somebody was talking about some of the customization I do, and I might have to do some videos on that, so we'll do there. Jimmy's option for both. That's a cool thing that with today's software that you could use your Serato when you want to use your Serato, and then use the Engine Prime when you want to use the Engine Prime. So I know people who are Serato guys but use other software for specialty gigs or karaoke or anything like that. So to them, each software has its own strength or weakness, or more or less what I think it is they're more comfortable with one as opposed to the other, and that makes sense. And so it's kind of good. I tell people that most of the software out there, you can get a free trial. Go test it, see what you think of it, because you might go, hey, this isn't bad for such and such, or I think I like this better, or whatever, stuff like that. All right, Guy, I'm going to try to say your last name. Hermanson. I hope I did that right. I am horrible with names. How do you deal with requests music during a gig? Well, I'm pretty good with it, because one of the things that I tell people is you have to get good with mixing, because if you're out someplace and you're getting a request, you're kind of going to have to do two things at the same time. And that's one of the things, being able to talk to people. I've shown people that I can actually mix while I'm listening and answering their questions and stuff like that. But I kind of listen to it, and one of my key phrases I think every DJ should have in their pocket when it comes to requests, if they request something that doesn't fit the night, or you're not going to play, or you don't have, it's your choice, I always follow up with, I don't have that, or I can't play that, or what's your second choice? That's my key phrase, what's your second choice? Because probably 99% of the time, if they ask for a song I don't have or don't want to play, I'll go, what's your second choice? 99% of the time, they'll give me a song, I'll be like, absolutely, that one for sure. And you'll make them happy that way. It's a game of just... It's a lot of social skills, which I suck at, I think. Well, I don't suck at. I don't enjoy them. I don't think I'm good at them. I mean, I don't. They're not natural for me. They're kind of faked in a way, I guess you could say, and I'm good at them. But that's kind of what it's about. It's about you are a person behind a what do you call that? What do you call that? Like a service industry, a complaint center sort of thing. So you're kind of having to field that. So I just kind of, like I said, I always kind of listen to them, and if it's something that I'm sketchy on, I go, I'll think about that. Maybe I think that'll fit, and leave it like that. And if they push it, my honest rule, it's just my own mind. If you push me, that your song ain't getting played. So I've had people where there's a group of 10 people there, and they'll come up, one person will come up and ask for a song, and I don't play it right away. Then another person from the group will come up and ask for the same song, and another person from the group will ask for the same song. And after a while, I'll go, I know you're all from the same group. Stop pushing me, or I absolutely will never play it. I'm just letting you know that. Or the ones that go, will you play it now? I'm leaving. And I'm like, no, I'll play it if you stay. If you're leaving, then go ask the DJ at the next place you're doing. You're not sticking around here buying drinks, having fun, dance to the music. I'm not going to play it for you just to keep you around. So I'm honest. I'm not mean. I'm just honest. That's all. I am planning on going to the Expo, Jimmy. I've got some stuff in the works I don't want to talk about, but that's a ways off. I got a lot of stuff going on there. I'm glad I pronounced your name right, Guy. DJ King said, keep a small notebook, and if I have time to go back and download it. Yeah, that's one of the things that with the phones nowadays, that my phone, it's the Note 8. So if I pull my pen out on my Note 8, it lets me then write on the screen. And I'll take notes that way a lot of times real quick, just kind of doing stuff like that. But you can do notes that way, have a little piece of paper next to you. You can jot it down, whatever you want to do to get for another time. I do that all the time. I had one that I wanted I just got it today, that I wanted a different version of Low, apple bottom jeans. I wanted a different version of that than the one I had, and I actually wanted a different video version too. And so I made a little note, and today when I was in the studio, I said, okay, I'm gonna see if I can go find it, and found two versions, a regular version with an intro, video version, and then a short version, because I wanted a short version too. So make little notes all the time about stuff. I tell people that your library is more important to you than you think it is. A lot of people go, I just throw everything in there as long as I have it. But if you don't know what's in there, if you don't know what version it is or how that version works out or anything like that, you'll get lost quickly in there and not have a good set. But if you have your sets, your songs marked with what you need, whether it be cue points or tags or whatever the way you do it, that can make you 1,000 times more efficient and have make you sound better as a DJ, smoother, interesting, keep things fresh that way. So I agree 100% with him. Take notes all the time. Mark stuff you want to change. If you want a different version, look for a different version, stuff like that. Keep it up fresh there. All right. So where's my mouse at? There's my mouse at. So keep the questions coming. This is awesome, guys. I love getting these questions. I love being able to field them. Here we go. Jim Castre. I'm horrible with names. Jim, how are you, Jim? It might be out of topic here. MP3 file is not as smooth as WAV for DJing scratching, no matter how good your PC or Mac, but DJs don't really scratch or feel the sharpness of the scratch. Would you agree? Well, if you just look at its sample rate, an MP3 is compressed and kind of pulled apart both at the same time, whether it's being compressed or decompressed. And a WAV file is absolutely uncompressed. That's why Ableton, when you make a song in Ableton and save it, export it, you can only export WAV files. You cannot export anything else because it keeps it as a pure file. If you're hearing the sharpness of the scratches in the MP3, there's a chance that either their sample is bad or your ears are that good, because the average person, you'd be surprised that they don't hear it. Average DJ even don't hear things, because I've walked into places and asked the DJ, why's your system got a buzz in it? And they're like, I don't hear a buzz. And then we'll kind of tweak some things and turn some stuff down. They're like, oh my gosh, I never heard that. And I'm like, I heard it as soon as I walked in the door. So the little little nuances in the scratch samples and stuff like that, some of it comes from the quality of the file itself, as in like, a WAV file or a lossless file, and some of it comes from the samples, because I was playing around with some earlier tonight, and I'll share this. I was doing some scratch samples. We're going here. All right, so this is a section of scratch samples. They're just a whole bunch of them back to back, but most of these came from like the 70s, so they're off of records out of the 70s. So the original that got sampled, whether it be this is an MP3 that's crappy or whatever, it's not going to sound up to par because they were taken from old records. So
how did you like the taste of that, huh?
Cutting and scratching, records he's catching, the fader he's
so you're not going to get like that's a famous sample right there. And you're just not going to get the quality, because a lot of them come from old ones. So that's kind of an example of like how they all kind of sound there, because it's not a perfect world. It'd be nice to have quality samples. And there are some companies that I've seen recently that have remastered all of those old samples. So if you want the better ones, they're out there. You might have to find or pay a little bit, but I know some of the companies are taking them into the studio and re-rendering them to be higher quality. So that is out there. But these ones, I guarantee, either these were ripped from a record that I have. I'm not going to lie. Either ripped from a record or ripped from a CD back in the days. So yeah. DJ King's talking about the organization. That's one thing that I have to say that my number one question I always get is, how do you organize your files? And mine, I've learned, is I'm so untraditional of every other DJ, but I can tell every DJ to do the same thing. Take time to go through your files. Go through it by folder and just look at the folders and see, this is something I play a lot. Is this good quality? Do I need another version? Take time and go through them. Make sure they're marked. Like, I'm a big person when it comes to this kind of stuff, is that, let me see where I want to go here. All right, so if I have these files, one of my big things is tagging. So if I go into my tag editor in Virtual, it gives me a lot of things there that I can edit and mark and different things like this. This was one of my samples from the DJ Expo that I did, my set from the DJ Expo, because I had that up. Let me do a better example of that. Let me go back to here and pick something up from this year. Come on, open up. There we go. So something, get a sample like this, tag editor, and I'll go in and I'll make sure that it is tagged with the name, artist, the year. I'll make sure genre that I want it to be, and then I do groupings, and groupings could be anything from decades to I have groupings called sing-along, where it's songs that people sing along with. I have groupings that are slow dance. For slow dances, I have grouping for line dance, so when I do my search for songs, all I have to type in is line dance, and all my line dance songs will come up. So tagging and marking things is really important. The play count is something to me because with Serato, you can't sort by that, but Virtual lets you sort by play count, so you can be really specific on your searches. But this whole thing right here, I think, is really important, is to make sure that these are all right. So when you're searching, you know exactly what you're searching for. And it takes time to sometimes go through all them to get that right, but I think it's worth it once you put a little bit of time into it. Like I said, I still have tried. I try to do once a week, sit down and go through things, because one of the things with Virtual, I'll go back, and I'm having trouble sharing that left screen today. See, that's Virtual close-up. I don't want the close-up. That'll do right there, I guess. But one of the things that Virtual has that I really like is they have tools, the different tools that you can do. And one of the tools they have is called My Library. And if you go into My Library, it has a bunch of stuff over here. Let me go here. All right, and we'll do this. There we go. So you can see that now. There's the My Library, and what it does, it looks at your entire database and folders it. So smart folders it by everything. Ratings, year, genre, BPM, and stuff like that. But also in the extras. Is it in the extras or is it in edits? Oh, it's in database. Sorry. There are tools, a folder called Tools, and Tools has a bunch of stuff in there of stuff that has no title, no artist, never been scanned, doesn't have a key, no genre. So if I click on that, everything in here does not have a single bit of genre on it. So if I were to go let you see the genre right there, there's no genre on it. And that's one of the things I like, that I'll go into here and just look at some of these ones that just have covers missing and different things like that. Not in database, which that's good because my whole database is scanned and there's nothing there. It'll also show you the low bit rate. But the thing with this is I don't know if it's showing you low bit rate as in the actual file being low bit rate or it's marked, because you can always scan something to be a higher bit rate and it actually isn't a higher bit rate. But that's one of the tools I like with Virtual, and I'll go in there all the time correcting and fixing things to make my library better. And I think that's really important. I always tell people, because everybody's life's busy, just take a little time here or there. You don't have to hammer yourself and spend hours. Sometimes the simplest things, like looking at a folder that you have of stuff you play a lot, while you're sitting down to watch TV, you don't have to play the songs. You can go in and check the tags and go, is this a pop song? Is this, however you mark it, hip hop, rock, whatever, however you do that. You can just go through the ones so that if you do searches for those things, it's marked right. Year is one that I do a lot to make sure my stuff is marked by the right year. Because the way Virtual searches, I can search by year and stuff. Let me go back to here on this. So if I come up here and do a search in my main box here, and I'm going to go back up to the, close the library out, and go to my main DJ folder, and I can do a search up here that I'm going to go 2000 to 2002. Whoops, it helps if I make it 2000. And it's going to bring up every song in my library that is within those year range. Whoops, I don't want to do that. I want to move this over. Whoops, I'm on the wrong screen. So it's going to bring everything. Let me zoom this back out. 1 second here. Yeah, so it's going to bring everything up. I can bring it in a little further. Sorry. That's a real... I was really zoomed in there. Wow. Let's just stretch this out properly then. All right, so I do my search there for that, for the 2000 to 2002, and it's going to bring everything up that's in that range, because here's my year range right there in the groupings and stuff. And I can do that and then do that number and space and go 100-105, and now it's only going to bring up songs that are in that year range and in that BPM range. And then I can do another space right there and do pop, type in pop, and now it's only going to bring up songs that are marked genre as pop. And I didn't mean to do that. I'm on the wrong screen. Every time I go to move this, I pretend like I'm moving it on the wrong screen here. But doing that, it actually, what it does is it's only bringing up the things in those genre ranges. And that's why I think, at least for virtual, I know Serato works different, tagging stuff like that, because I can get really, really specific. Because not only am I searching for the year range, the BPM range, and the genre, I can go into play count, sort it by play count, sort it by whatever I want. And, you know, like if I want to look at the songs that I play a lot at the top, and you'll see there, and these are the popular ones. Or if it's early in the night and I go, no, I don't want to play something popular, it's early in the night, I'll move down to ones that I haven't played a lot. And that's just, like I said, it's just the way that virtual works. It isn't the way they all work, but the process of going through and tagging stuff, even if you don't do searches like that, taking the time to work on your music library can help you immensely. And if you do folders or crates, you can end up finding songs that you think, oh, this would be perfect at this next event. I can't believe I forgot I had it. Drag and drop it into your crate, and now you have it. But a lot of those, like I said, can be done while you're just sitting and watching TV. You don't have to play any volume. You're just looking at text and moving stuff around, or sitting while you're doing breakfast or whatever. It doesn't matter, whatever your thing is. But there's a lot there. So, all right, I'm going to do a commercial break because it's at the bottom of the hour. And right after the commercial break, I'll be back, and we can take more questions or show mixing stuff or whatever you want to do. I will be right back.
Tonight's DJ and TV show is sponsored in part by Electro Voice, DJ Event Planner, ADJ, NLFX Professional, Promo Only, and DJ and TV Insiders.
As always, I want to thank our sponsors for making the show possible. It wasn't for them, would be just a bunch of people standing around talking to ourselves. So definitely, if you get a chance, the sponsors are in the show notes below. Click on a link, go visit them, tell them that you saw them here, purchase stuff, all that kind of stuff. We are thankful for our sponsors. All right, so let's go back to the chat and see what kind of questions we have here. Jim says, you're absolutely right, sir, that there's skipping going on with MP3s that take away from scratching. Some DJs wouldn't pay attention. Yeah, like I said, there's I honestly believe that large portion of the DJs out there are deaf and they can't hear. So if you can't hear something that's quiet, you're not going to hear something that's bad. You know what I mean? So it's tough whether they can't hear it or, like I said, they're old, like mine. You would probably hate mine because mine, I'm telling you, they were either taken from a record or taken from a CD. There's nothing new when it comes to my scratch samples. So who do we have next? David asks, what version of Virtual are you using? I'm using 7E. Yeah, 7 is not even covered by Virtual anymore. They don't even cover it. It's now under what's called Legacy. There's no backing. There's no anything. I used the new one, which actually is called Virtual DJ 2018. All it is was they did a slight upgrade on Virtual 8, and they called it 2018. It's still awesome. I waited probably almost 3 years before I went from 7 to 8 to make sure 8 was nice and solid. 8 is probably one of the most amazing programs I've ever used, with all the amazing stuff you can do it from. It's just simply DJing and making the thing look however you want it to look, to broadcasting your music, recording your music, doing video while you're DJing, doing karaoke while you're doing DJing, doing text on the screen while you're doing DJing. Anything you want to do, make it look like 2018's there. And if you have a full license for 7, you do not have to pay for the next one up. The last license I purchased from Virtual was in like 2010. That was when I bought my Virtual 7, and I just upgraded. I don't have to pay anything extra. So I would tell you, if you have the full license, just go and get it, try it out, test it. If you don't, you can download it for free and test it. But you only get to test for 10 minutes on the testing thing. And that's what, before you pay for it. You can do either a full purchase out price, or they also do monthly subscriptions, which everything's going to the stupid monthly subscriptions now, which I think is kind of silly, but it's all going that way. Go test it out and check it and see if you like it or not. I love it. All right, here. Yeah, someone's talking about 7. There's so many features. Now, if I went in, like again, we're talking about some of our older videos that we've did. Go back on Disc Jockey News' YouTube page, and I did a full breakdown when they come out with 8 on all the things that changed in 8. And there's just so many things with this that I think are just mind-blowing. The different things you can download from Virtual to add-ons, effects, etc. Plus, there are other sites out there making stuff that isn't even a part of Virtual that works with Virtual. And that's why where I went and got my Serato skin, just to mess with people, is from a site that's actually in Spanish. I had to translate the site to know what I was downloading. Again, you may be downloading something bad. I'm not saying that to go there and do it. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm saying I was willing to go try it out, did it, downloaded it, and just to have it. But it's a site where somebody makes all these things, and there's just a bunch of stuff there. So there's a lot there you can do. What am I using to stream? That's a good question. I probably should do one on that. The Logitech, what is it, the 720 or the 700? I always forget. There's a business one and a non-business one. Give me 1 second here. I'll actually type in and see what it is here. Because there's 2. There's one that's a business. The 920. That's what you want. That's what I'm using on here. That's the HD one. You can actually get them now for about $50. They're not all that expensive really, for something that's this high quality. And when I tell people why I like it is because it actually has its own onboard processor. So even if you have a weak computer, you're going to get the HD quality because it's doing processing. Because if you touch the camera, it actually is warm because it's doing processing in there before it ever gets to the computer. This here is I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding. This is a $17 fake GoPro from eBay. And all I have to do is I have it wired into the computer like a camera and using it as a second camera. And then I don't know if I can do this without unplugging stuff. I'm running a Behringer 302 little mini mixer that all the sound, what I'm hearing here is going in there, and then my mic is going in there. And it also is processing the stuff from the virtual program out there. And it's what I use in my studio a lot of times. It just it's good for routing. But everything is running off of my DJ computer, which is a Logitech Lenovo Y700. I love it because it's really powerful. It has 2 hard drives, a solid state drive and a regular drive. And with it, right now I have a second screen hooked up to it, 2 cameras, the audio board, the deck. I'm running virtual program. I'm using OBS to do the broadcasting software, and all of this is running at the same time off of one computer. And that's why I buy this one. It's my second Lenovo that I've owned in my life because it's really powerful and just hammers away and does everything. So that's it. You know, the camera, the cheap GoPro, I'm telling you, that's all it is, and I love it. This is what it looks like. We'll do a full screen on it so you can kind of see. I want to go to the deck only. So this is what it looks like from the deck, and if I'm doing stuff.
How did you taste of that, huh?
So you can kind of see everything, but then, like I said, I'm using the OBS software to do the multi-screens and stuff like that, and that's a free program too. Let's see what questions we have here. Saying hello to everybody. Gus, hello. Next Level Entertainment. Hey, what's going on? Feel free to keep the questions coming. These are some good questions, stuff that I honestly think some of these I haven't really covered in the past. And I thought in the whole time of the music and mixing that I covered everything, but apparently I didn't. So that's good. I love this. Definitely, if you're in the chat and you haven't said your name or where you're from, do that. I always like to do shout-outs because in the past we've had people from all over the world tune in, and I like that you know, people coming in there. Did someone say from Canada? Oh, he's saying hello to Canada. Okay, sorry, I saw Canada in the chat because it's in the second monitor over there. It's a little tiny like that. So feel free to ask questions, whatever you have. It can be anything, software, hardware, anything. It doesn't matter. I will answer whatever. If it's a mixing question, I can show you the mixing. If it's whatever. DJ Angel S, what's going on? Did I say that right? Yeah. I got offered a job at Lenovo in research, Triangle Park. Really? That's cool. I love their computers. I'm a big fan of theirs. It's my second one that I've owned. One of the reasons, like, you know, because a lot of people bust on me because I don't use Mac. I've had incredible guys from Canada. Hello, Canada, United States. Let's see what other countries we have. but I've used Windows. I've never had a problem. And I always tell people that you're going to, if you spend, like, it's like a phone. If you can get a $200 phone, but is your $200 phone going to do as much as my $800 phone? The same with the computer. You can go out and buy a $500 laptop. You may have problems with it, but I've spent $1,100 on this, and that includes, keep in mind, from Lenovo, it's one of the reasons why I go with them, I can do a 3-year program with them that no matter what happens to this, literally, someone could dump a drink on it in the first 3 years that I own it, and it is 100% replaceable no matter what. And that's one of the reasons why I go to it. So I don't have to think about anything for 3 years, no matter what happens to this. I don't even have to send it back. They come to me. If I'm saying, oh, I'm having a problem with it, it's not working right, they send someone to my house to fix it. That's one of the reasons why I go with them. Dual hard drives, like I said, solid state drive and a regular drive. It has an onboard NVIDIA card with 4 gig of RAM on the video card alone, all by itself. I just like it. It's heavy as heck. It's heavy as heck, but I like it. Dan, another one of our broadcasters here at Disc Jockey News, also has the exact same one. But like I said, it's not small. It's big, but it's powerful. Like I said, because I'm doing the entire show tonight. Second screen, 2 cameras, the decks, virtual DJ, the broadcasting software, all off one computer in real time. All right, here. I have a question. On virtual DJ, with the echo or delay effect, do you need to practice to know exactly where the knob needs to be turned? That's a good question, because a lot of things like that, and John asked me that one day when I was doing some stuff, and for me, it's a feeling. So I know how long I basically kind of want the echo to go, and we'll switch it over here and show a couple things. So I want to go with here. All right, so on mine, this button up here is a flange and an echo. Because I do a lot of MIDI mapping on mine, and these are 3 exit effects that I always do. And it's a flange and echo that's post-fader. So if it's playing, it's that. And all I do on this is that it's not necessarily where it's set at. It's that I know how long I want that echo to go. I want it to be done in like 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and be done. And like doing the echo that way, one of the reasons why I do the echo that way is because being post-fader, instead of just doing an echo, because there are echo outs for virtual that are very good, but because I tied 2 effects to that one button, a flange and an echo. So if I go down here, oops, no, I want there. Yeah, so this is the echo by itself. And then this is the flange. And this button just does both. But like I said, it's kind of by ear, how long you want it to echo out. The same way with, I have a break effect over here. I want it to be done by the end of that beat, so it'll be like... And I have that set in length. It's just kind of the feeling of how you want it to go. So there's not an answer necessarily, but if you want the echo to go longer, like if I want the echo out to be much softer, I can do things like turn it on early and fade it slower. But if I want it to be choppy, I can turn it on late and drop it. And it kind of gives you an option there. But it's kind of, there's no answer to that. It's what you want. If you want it to be softer, you can do it softer. You want it to be harder, do it harder. Lots of questions coming. I'm seeing y'all typing. I love this. Here we go. Okay. People that okay, but actually, it's funny because you were talking about so many people in the chat right now that like Windows. I mentioned earlier about the Digital DJ Tips survey, and we talked about different things in that before. But one of the things that surprised me, because every DJ I know is Mac, but in their survey, far and above, all of them was Windows, and that really surprised me how many Windows DJs there are out there. Because, like I said, most of the guys I know, they're just Mac heads, and which is nothing wrong. They're great computers, but it surprised me that many people were doing there. Bright Night Entertainment said, "Is there some way to do this where it syncs automatically?" Okay, here's the thing that. This area right here, you see these white lines in mine right there? Those are downbeat markers. And if they're not right, your echo is not going to be on that beat. And that's how it's synced. So if I have that going there and do the echo, but if let's say I fake this and I do that tapping, I'm gonna do the tap, and I'm gonna reset that downbeat marker so it's not right, and I'm gonna try to do it about at double. You see, there's twice as many there now. And if I do the echo, it's not going to be right. So your synced is synced off of that being on beat. So and I can adjust that while I'm there, and I want to go here. Yeah, I can adjust that. And do that. So it's right there. So now that echo, see the downbeat marker? It's on. So the syncing of the echo is nothing to do with anything other than your downbeat markers have to be right. Or it's not. In the same way with any other effect on there. So if I'm doing a stutter effect, that's a doubler. And if those downbeat markers weren't right, that effect would not tie into that on beat. So that's the key to any of the effects on here are done that way. They're synced by that downbeat marker. I hope that answered the question here. Moving on down here. Whoa, got a lot of questions here. Hold on, give me a second here to get to all these. I love this. We may have to go to a second hour tonight. I love this. It's running an HP gaming computer. That's basically what this Lenovo is, the gaming computer. It just has a lot of power to it. So I like that. So that's good. Strobe he did get back to me really quickly, but he was busy. So I didn't even get to ask him what your question, Scott, because basically I said, hey, what's going on? And he goes, I'm just cold, because he recently moved to Canada, and he said he's just cold. So I haven't gotten the answer back on that yet. So I'm still working on that. Like I said, he's busy being a dad and everything up there. Yeah, the NS7 is a beast. I had the first one. I absolutely love it, but there's a lot of weight there. Next laptop will be 17-inch old eyes. Let me show you something here that a lot of people complain, and it's not going to let me do the. Let me go back here. I need to go to, because it's not capturing the left screen right here. So I need to go here, properties, capture that. There we go. So now you can see that. So you see how small that is there? A lot of people, I have good eyes, and a lot of people, I've had young people walk up to me and go, how can you read that small print? I do, and that's part of the reason why I chose this skin, is so that I'm able to see a bunch of songs in both the regular area here, and then this down here is the holding area. So this is where I load stuff if I want to play it later. It's my holding area, which you can have it off to the side if you want with virtual. It doesn't have to be at the bottom. I just have it at the bottom. I'm not saying it's better. I don't know if it's better, but it's at the bottom. It's where it is. Because I like to see the information across there. I like to see the artist, the genre, the BPM, the play count, the year, and then my groupings. So like I said, the groupings could be anything. So if I did slow dance, it's going to bring up all songs that I've marked as slow dance and different things like that, or different things like, or line dance. And it's going to bring up, just by typing in line dance, it brings up all line dance. But I like to see a lot of stuff going on there. So that's why I have that. So yeah, the bigger's better if your eyes are bad. Is a beginner controller such as the DDJ 400 or SB3 workable for mobile gigs? They're both awesome controllers. They really are. There's hardly any out there nowadays that could not work for mobile gig. Old or new, you don't have to buy the new stuff. I have a friend of mine that still uses VCI. If those of you remember the VCI controllers, uses them out all the time, and he works them like a beast, scratching and everything. So it's not necessarily the newest and the latest. It's what works for you, and that's what works for him. I love my 7000. I also have a 6000, which is a smaller one. They give me different ones to test all the time, so I have bunches in the studio. But this is the 7000, the one I use out. I just love it. It's a powerhouse, and I feel very comfortable. It's like, I always tell people, it's kind of like driving a car. You have to find what works for you, and I like this car. I really like this car. So when I switch later this year to the Prime 4, I hope I like it as much as I like this. It's going to be different. The layout is more typical because of the atypical layout. The olden days when you had two turntables, what it was the pitch faders were to the right of the decks, and then when they went to CDJs, they matched because this one would match this. Actually, this one would match this one, and then they started all the brands except for Pioneer started putting stuff on opposites. So your play buttons are on the inside, your stuff's out there, and it's really messed up. But with the new Prime 4, it's mirrored. So this side is identical to this. So on this side, on the Prime 4, the play button's going to be over here. The pitch fader's going to be over there, stuff like that. And I like that. I really am looking forward to that, being back to that. So again, whatever you like, whatever works for you. But the 400 and the SB3 are both awesome. There's hardly any of them out there, like I said. If you stick with like the Denon, Pioneer, Newmark, you won't lose on any of them. I think they're all good quality. The Reloop's coming out with a bunch of stuff that's really good. Roland has 3 that are incredible, and one of them is really low price too. So you kind of figure out what works for you there. Moving down the list of questions here. You guys put a lot of stuff in there. Yeah, some of the Mac questions I'm not going to be able to answer about, formatting. I'm not sure. I mean, because there's so many little nuances when it comes to stuff like that. I have friends that have a Mac and Serato, and once they get it working, they never update it because they don't want it to ever stop working. So they never update it from once they first get it. So we're talking 4 or 5 years, never updating anything, the program or the laptop. So that works for them. Jimmy using his fancy drifting on the Echoes. Gosh, there's a lot of questions here. Hold on here. Wow, I got to get to these. Hold on. I'm trying to read down through all these here. Wow, there's a lot here. Thank you guys for asking these questions. I'll hit all of them. I promise I won't jump out before I get to them. I kind of totally lost where I'm at here. All right, here we go. Somebody uses both Mac and Windows. Someone else likes Windows. Jim asks, when you're running audio sounds from the decks through audio processing board to the speaker subs, your MP3 files would be the main cause of sound degradation. But here, keep in mind that like this show is mainly about the mix DJ. So I'm telling you, less than 12 times a year, I have this thing hooked up to anything but a house system. And those 12 times a year, I have direct lines coming directly out of here into my K12s. And that's literally all your basic mix DJ is going to do. You're not going to run through signal processors. 99.99999% of the gigs I do, I barely even talk on the mic. It's about mixing. So, again, you're not always going to hear it. And a lot of house systems I plug into are crap, but they pay me. So that's the most important thing. So, again, it comes down to your ear. Most people aren't going to hear what we hear, Jim. That's the only thing. And a lot of DJs aren't even going to hear what we hear because they don't hear much. Someone there talking about he keeps his iPad with DJ program running for backup. I'm with you there in my bag right here. Tablet running DJ as a backup. It's always in there. I just updated it yesterday actually so that I would have, I want to make sure everything's always up to date on that. But that's a good habit to get into, and you can mix off of stuff there. You can use Spotify to get songs if you need to get to. That's a great idea. Someone uses Macs with Windows 10. I know a lot of people that partition their Mac to run both, so you can definitely do that. The second monitor, Gus is saying about taking a second monitor. It's tough because that's just extra to carry. But if that works for you, do it. There's no wrong way to necessarily do that. Whatever works for you. So absolutely, if you can get the 17-inch and that works, do that. If you need the second monitor, do the second monitor. Like I said, there's no wrong thing necessarily to DJ when it comes to like stuff like that. Whatever works for you. Somebody said, just put me on this 40-inch TV. Gosh, how do I look in HD on 40-inch? That's got to be terrible. I bought a really basic laptop Friday. Deal's $200. It has touchscreen, and I'm running Chauvet Show Express. Yeah, you can get a lot of the stuff like that for the cheaper computers you can do. I'm not saying that you can't use a cheap computer to DJ from, but I just tell people spend a little extra because this, like for me, it's my full-time job. So this is like getting a good work truck or whatever. It's your tool, so spend a little bit of money on it. Don't be afraid to. It's important. Someone Someone says they like the Denon 4000, take up a lot of room. Like I said, I had the 6000, MK1 and MK2. They're very small, very powerful, but I like to spread out. So that's why it's funny. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and I said when I switched from the smaller one to this bigger one, it's a lot more to carry. It really is a lot more to carry, but I actually felt like a real DJ again. I actually felt like I was DJing again. And I know that's kind of tough for a lot of people to understand, but it meant a lot to me. So again, if the 4000 works for you, it's awesome. Does Serato and Virtual DJ work with a touchscreen computer? I know Virtual absolutely does, because there are actually skins out there designed for touchscreens. I have no idea about Serato and a touchscreen. I'm guessing you would have to get the newest version of Serato that lets you do on laptop mixing, because their newest 2.1.1 will let you mix from laptop only, and you have to pay extra for the plugin to do that with Serato, and it gives you all your volume controls, your high-low mids, all kinds of stuff like that is now on the screen on that new version of, I think it's called Serato Play is the plugin that you put in with the new Serato 2.1.1, and I think if you have that, there's no reason why you couldn't use the touchscreen. Someone's contemplating an old Newmark 4 tracks. Yeah. It's always good to even have backups, stuff like that. That's why, like I said, why I keep that the 6000 around. I'm not letting it go, because it's very good for that. I have a couple other little backups that kind of go around with me. That's, again, one of the reasons why I'm looking at the 4000, the Prime 4, is because it is a backup on its own. Let me scroll down here. I'm trying to get through the questions. I apologize. Are you keeping the 7000? I think I'm definitely going to keep the 7000 until I get used to the Prime 4, and then I'm having button, because you understand I DJ 3 times a week out, and then time in the studio I'm messing with it. So I'm on this thing like 5 times a week, hammering it. I already had to replace the crossfader, which I almost always have to do on controllers, just because I use it so much. But I'm having a couple problems with the split cue buttons, and so once I get used to the Prime 4, then I'm either myself going to tear this apart and repair it, or send it back to Denon to get it repaired. But I probably am going to keep it because I love it so much. It is like the perfect size, the perfect platters, everything. And I'm sure there are nights that I want to go out and DJ, and I don't want to take a $1,700 controller out, so I probably might keep it. I don't know. Moving on down here. I guess I'm talking about ease, which you can apply echo like old school Pioneer effects where it's auto BPM'd. Again, auto BPM'd, again, you have to determine what you're using, software, hardware. With Virtual, everything I do is 100% off the program. So no matter what I plug this into, that effect is coming from here, not the hardware. So you can adjust it. There are several echo effects you can do. But again, all of the effects, 100% of the effects, backspin, echoes, dumps, flanges, whatever, all are going to be synced on whether your downbeat markers are right. So it doesn't matter what song you put on there. I can put a song that's 10 times as fast as that. My echo is going to be 10 times as fast if those downbeat markers are set on the speed. So it's only adjusted by that. So it doesn't matter what plugin you do, it's going to read off those downbeat markers to make itself do that. And that's the only way it works. Because, like I said, certain DJ programs, you get certain things if you have it plugged into certain type of hardware. With Virtual, you get everything no matter what you have it plugged into. It's all everything, every effect, everything is coming from the program, not the hardware. So getting stuff to kind of tie in there, like some of the older effects units, and doing it by quarter, half, 100%, you can adjust that on these, whatever you do. Like I said, I'm not doing it by half, 50, whatever. I want it out in so many beats, 1, 2, 3, 4, gone. So that's why I have the adjustment on there. And with the knob above where that button is, I can instantly take that higher or lower if I want to. But I just choose to do that and do it that way. So if you forgot a way to make it work the other way, absolutely go with that. Like I said, there's no wrong way of doing stuff. If it works for you to do different, then go with that. And like I said, with Virtual, I can program it to be any button. So if I don't want that button to be the echo out, I can make another button or another switch or whatever I want to do. Or another unit. I can put another unit onto the side and have that unit control the effects and never touch this. So it kind of, like I said, it's what you want to do. I think you could achieve the effect you want to achieve, but it's not going to be plug and play. Especially with Virtual, you kind of have to make it do what you want it to do. So moving down the list here, DJ my old VMS4. Effects knob has to be a certain point. If there's change effects, the knob is completely in the wrong place. I'm not really sure. That could be a connection thing on that. If it's not in the right place, because with mine, wherever that knob is, it matches on the screen, so it's always matching. It could be the fact that I don't know how compatible the old VMS4 is. As you get into a lot of those older ones, the support completely goes away. They don't do support for them at all anymore. So you might be losing some stuff that way. And also, I want to make sure to answer that question, if you're using the newest Virtual 8 or 18, whatever it's called. So that's part two there. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Moving down. I know there's bunches of questions here. I'm going to try to get to everybody best I can. JY3 saying he's ready for more standalone controllers. I'm betting there's some coming. Since Pioneer's not going to be at Mobile Beat, I bet they have something they're working on, since they're not going to be at Mobile Beat at all. Do you like the NS7, Jimmy? They're asking Jimmy if he likes 7. We'll have to have Jimmy on the show one night or something. Newmark, for those of you who don't know, Kyle Hall said, Newmark did put out a tweet about a month or so ago saying, everyone's asking, is there going to be a new NS7? Please be patient. We're listening to all your ideas. There is something. Just be patient. So that meant to me that they're absolutely coming out with something. So it'd be kind of interesting to see as that develops there. Next level, like I said with the classes, like I said, I can teach all about that. And the stuff I teach, you can be doing on any controller. It doesn't have to be controllers or CDJs or records or whatever you choose. The mixing that I'm teaching isn't software or hardware specific. The 8000, we're talking about the heaviness. The 8000 is so much lighter than 7000. I mean, so much lighter than the NS7. You cannot believe how much lighter. If you ever pick up an NS7, you'd be like, what the crap? Because the 7000 is about 15 pounds, and I think the 8000 is about 16 or 16 and a half pounds. And Jimmy, I think you said it was like close to 20 some pounds stock by itself. Right now, somebody's asking about healthcare. One of the things you can do, I can't really talk a lot about different healthcares and stuff like that, but with organizations like American Disc Jockey Association and stuff, they do have plans, group plans. So if you join them, you can get lower insurance on your equipment, lower insurance on group plans of health and stuff like that. That's the best I could tell you. I really don't know what to tell about the health problems there. If I was going for a new controller, I would get the Prime. It helps to learn on the same. Yeah, it does. Standalone software, like I said, to me with that Prime 4, I have 2 all the time. So if I don't want to run off the laptop, I can leave the laptop in the bag and do a small gig where I know what songs I'm playing off of that. Or if I want the laptop, I can use it. But also in the same sense, if I'm out DJing somewhere and my laptop craps out, I still have that to go with. Or if the controller craps out, I can plug an audio cord into the laptop and at least finish the night and get my paycheck. That's why I think that backup is, whether you use it a lot or not, I think it's important. Nowadays, with them coming with so much technology, it makes it easier to have backup. Like I said, that's an Android tablet. You don't have to spend a lot of money. You can get an Android tablet for crap money and keep that in there with Algorithm DJ on it or Spotify or whatever, and it can save you in an emergency. You can just leave it plugged in like this because it's a 4-channel. I can leave it plugged into another one of the channels because this works as a standalone mixer, so it does not have to be running through the software at all. And if something goes down and I need to reboot the computer, I can have that plugged in, running, and I keep a cord all the time plugged in, so if I have to pop my phone in, play a mix while I'm redoing something or whatever, which I never have yet had to do that, but that's all you have to kind of do with that to have that backup. So I encourage you to try to get much of them as you can, backups. Guys talking about there, he's having a little trouble with his left hand. I've seen guys, I have a friend here in the city, he goes by the name of DJ Left Side, because he has one arm that doesn't work, and Brian S. Reed, so you can DJ. You can do it. Don't ever think you can't. Don't ever think that's going to hold you back. You can do it. So I encourage you, don't let it ever hold you back. All right, I'm down to the bottom of the questions list. It took me forever to get there, but you guys are awesome. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Thank you for the questions. I definitely, like I said, I'm going to do this once a month. The open question nights are kind of easy. So I don't see why I can't do them more often. And like I said, maybe we'll try to get it, because I don't think this one was sent out in the insiders. Like if you belong to the Disc Jockey News, you get emails reminding of upcoming shows. And I don't think this one was in there because it was kind of last minute, because John is currently at the Photo Booth Expo in Las Vegas. So we're kind of trying to fill in this week with other shows and different things. And that's why I said I'll just do an open question night on Wednesday night. That's why we're kind of doing this. So I'll definitely bring it back next month, but we'll make sure we'll get it out there and in the email so you guys know ahead of time if you want to jump in. This is an incredible group tonight we've had in their questions. The NS7 weighs 31 pounds. So literally the NS7 III is twice as much as the 7000. I love the NS7. I'm not going to argue with you. I love it, but I just don't want to carry that much weight around. That's all. I own one of the early ones, and it's just there's a lot there. But if it works for you, go with it. There's no reason not to go with it. So, like I said, it's you kind of have to figure out what works with you. I know there's a lot of people in the industry that talk down about DJs who do this and DJs who don't do that. If you're making a paycheck, you're enjoying yourself, and you're getting the job done, then do it. Whatever works. Because I know that my style is not everybody's style for sure. So you have to find what works for you, controller-wise, software-wise, song-wise, sample-wise, everything. And then just do you. And I heard a guy years ago in the music industry, as the internet became opened up more in the early 2000s, where you didn't necessarily have to live in a major city to get discovered as an artist. He said with the new technology of internet and whatnot, he said if you're making the right noise, the right people will hear you. So if you're doing a good job DJing, with this way it is today, it doesn't matter what you're using. If you're doing a good job, the right people will know about it and hire you. So keep practicing at it, all that kind of stuff. Finish up the questions here. I'm ignoring all those questions at the end there. The statements, sorry. So thank you guys again for tuning in. Again, take a chance, click on the sponsors, visit that. Feel free to share this video, comment in the links below if you're watching it on demand afterwards. If you have any questions, hit me up directly. I'm on every single social media, so you can find me on all of them. So again, thank you guys. We've been a little over an hour because there were so many questions. I wasn't going to stop it at the hour. I wanted to get through all the questions. So again, thank you guys. Until next time, take care of yourselves, and more importantly, take care of each other, because it is a crazy world out there. God bless.